Yo, mofos. That's right. Chris Simms Unbuttoned. We're back. I got to remember we're on YouTube Live, too, so I can't say the F word. I can say all the other words that I like to say, but I can't say that one, okay? So, yeah, you crazy Miami guys, don't swear too much,
Man,
all right?
you was just telling me about the cussing.
I know. All right, we're here with Akheem Mesidor, of course, the superstar pass rusher. We hung out with Hurricane Bane a little while ago. We asked him specifically about, who did you watch in college? Who were some of the better players you kept your eye on? I mean, he was. I didn't have to go far. I just looked across the line of scrimmage, and that guy kind of kept me motivated. So that's cool. You guys had that little banter back and forth that way.
Yeah, it's in everything we do. Watching film, getting to the quarterback, especially. Getting to the facility, whatever it was, whose weight, whose body fat is going down more. It's in everything we do, and it honestly makes us better.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's usually the best teams have that kind of camaraderie, competitiveness.
The high compete level.
Right.
So your football journey starts all the way back in Canada, where you're from. When did you start playing the game?
8 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what has that journey been like, moving to the United States? You've obviously had success at multiple schools now. Like, this has been a whirlwind, I would imagine.
It wasn't really a crazy transition. Growing up, everybody's always talking about big bad Americans, take your lunch money.
Well, you didn't know Canada's supposed to be a part of America now, right? You didn't know that?
No, I don't know.
I'm just having fun.
A lot of people will be
I know.
But
That's why I had to say it.
It was it was a long journey, but I ended up finishing my high school career in Clearwater, Florida. And once I got there, it was really no change. Really, ball is ball. It doesn't matter who you play. If you can play football, you can play football. And that led into university all the way until today. Just stay confident, keep working, and if you can play ball, you can play ball.
Where'd you go to high school in Clearwater?
Clearwater Academy.
Clearwater Academy? I played for the Bucks, so I know the area, right? I got drafted by Tampa Bay.
They don't have a football team anymore. They discontinued it, but I was there for about a year, or maybe like 8 months.
So that sounds like one of those smart schools or something like that there.
I don't know. It's a private school.
Yeah, sounds smart. Yeah. Sounds kind of rich. Yeah. I don't know. All right. Don't wait. So I want to go back to Canada because I am actually interested in that, right? Because I don't think most Americans think of Canadians have little league football. It's I think we just think, you steal some of the American players and they play in the Canadian Football League, right? So what's youth football like there? How big is it? Kind of give us a gauge there.
So it's different in every, city and province. In Ottawa, specifically, we have little league football starting at 8 years old up until 18. That's the reason is because we only have about 6 or 7 high school teams. High school football isn't very popular because back home, a lot of people don't put a lot of funding and don't invest in athletics, especially football. So I played organized football outside of school from 8 up until I was 17 until I transferred to the States.
Right. All right, cool. I'm glad I asked that because I wondered how it went down. Because I know over here, you guys associated with high schools up there. So I'm always like, where does it all go? It's interesting.
Right, and it's harder to get attention from a recruiting
100%.
aspect. It's a tougher hill to climb, I would say. So, what was that part of the process like for you?
Because a lot of people look down upon Canadian talent. Right, especially university coaches. So you have to really prove yourself, especially, let's say you have an amazing tape, the best tape they ever seen in their lives. He's playing in Canada. I don't know. Let's see how he does against, Americans.
Yeah, right.
You can play football, So it is more difficult. Growing up, I had to go back and forth to, Indiana camps, Penn State, North Carolina. I traveled all across the East and Midwest a little bit just to get recognized and go through all these camps, just so I can earn a scholarship.
Right.
And it was a long process, very stressful, especially on my mom who had to work, 2-3 jobs in order to provide the funds for me to go do these things. So, but she did whatever she had to do. I worked with one of my mentors, a big older brother. His name is Victor Tedano. He runs a program called Grand Academy, and it's not just me; it's a bunch of different athletes. One of my best friends goes to Louisville. So there's a bunch of guys that he's helped bring up. So it's all, I'm grateful for him, and he really kick-started my process to coming to play in the States.
Yeah, you got to get out there and show these big, bad, dumb Americans that this guy from Ottawa can play over here.
Yeah, man.
I know. I got to sleeping on you guys. Sleeping on you, totally. All right, so you're interesting, too. I could tell you're smart as hell. Everybody has told me how hard you work and stuff like that. Speak French? You got some Haitian heritage?
Yeah, so growing up, my first language was actually French. I went to French school from junior kindergarten up until the 8th grade.
Right.
You'd get in trouble for speaking English at school. So, you
It's
had
amazing.
to, but I still would when teachers weren't around and
Right.
stuff. But then I ended up switching from a French school to an English school because universities out here, it's primarily English. So I had to learn how to, write properly, do all these things. And everything I learned in French when it comes to math, I had to learn it in English.
Yeah.
So as I did that, I really kind of completely stopped speaking French. And then I moved to the States and I completely I stopped hearing it, I stopped speaking it. So now I'm starting to I'm losing it. So holding a conversation is difficult. But
Right.
if somebody speaks to me in French, I'll fully understand. But I'm going to talk to you in English.
That's great. That's amazing. I mean, it really, you're a different breed at defense end. You're actually like the most interesting defense end in the world. You're like one of
might
those
be.
guys, right?
What do NFL teams ask you then?
Yeah.
When you sat down with us, there's like 30 things we were excited to ask
yeah.
you. What teams got to be thinking the same thing?
The most common question I get is about being Canadian. How
Right.
are you going to stay in the States,
Right.
with everything going on? And then it'll be like how I grew up in Canada, how was Canada like, my family, my background, and stuff like that. Those are the most common questions I get. And
Right.
then when we talk football, the meetings go by like this. Football, I can talk football all day.
Right. Yeah. I think it's funny too, because you're talking about, it's French to English, and then you come and you probably get back to America speaking English, and you go, wait, nobody speaks English the right way. Everybody's got slang words and things, and you're
it's all
probably like,
different.
what the hell does that mean, right?
We got slang back home, and we're really
Right.
I don't think we have our own original slang.
Yeah.
Toronto does a little bit. You hear about it, and you see it online. It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. But we kind of adopt different slangs, from New York and different things. But coming to the States, you hear all this stuff in rap songs on TV, so it's not really something you haven't heard before,
Right. So there was nothing that shocked you, I
no,
guess.
not at all. I didn't have no culture shock or anything.
Because I went from Jersey to Texas, and they would say some words down there, and I'd be like, "What? Huh? You're fitting to do what?" And so there was stuff of that that caught me by surprise.
Did
Go ahead.
anyone try to push you into hockey growing up out there?
Never.
Never.
Hockey's an expensive sport
Very.
when it comes to travel and especially
Yes.
all the equipment. So we couldn't afford that. So I played football. Football has equipment, but all of it will be not given to you, but rented out to you by whatever organization you play for. And then Ottawa had something ran by the government or something like that, which aided athletes who couldn't afford to play these sports. They helped them, so they provided the funds for us to play. So me playing football, my mom may have paid for 1 year for me to play, but most of the time it was funding that was helping and allowing me to play football.
Okay.
I just like the third time today. I've gotten like, wait, oh, here it is. That's what it is. I want to ask you about this. So far with your meeting with the coaches, other than the Canada stuff, right? What's the thing about your game they like, and what's the thing they wonder if you can get better at?
So they've heard that I'm smart.
Right.
They've heard that I work hard. But then once they finally start listening to me speak about the game and all these techniques I have to play and what's going on through my mind, they start, okay, he is smart. But then they ask me, why are you smart? Were you smart last year? Because the film from last year to this year is different. So they'll ask me, why are you smart? Like, what have you been doing? Have you always been smart? And I tell them, yes, I'm a student of the game. I love learning. I love the game of football. When I ask JT questions, I ask JT so many questions, he gets frustrated sometimes. He'll put an install in. He'll wait, look at me. No question? All right.
You're one of those.
I asked a ton of questions. And then also another one was why. The other most frequent one I get asked is, what happened between last year and this year?
Yeah.
And then I explained to them, last year I was playing defensive tackle. I was 280. I was doing what was best for the team.
Yeah.
I'm most comfortable on the edge,
Right.
and I'm most productive on the edge. So I asked JT, what do I have to do to be the best defensive end in the country? So he explained to me, you have to change your body. You lose the weight. So I lost 20 pounds. You have to learn how to take care of your body and really be a pro. So the way you eat, the way you sleep, all these different things that can help you. And then also, everybody around the country does the same thing. 3 workouts a week, 2 conditioning sessions. So what are you going to do to separate yourself? So on Saturdays, I work with a pastoral specialist.
Yeah, right.
And then on Sundays, every Sunday I swim a mile. So I picked up swimming because I didn't want to do all this running because I'm a heavy guy. So in order to preserve my body and also get the same amount of conditioning, I would swim, and it completely transformed my body, elevated my game, and I feel like I was able to change the trajectory of my future.
Yeah, you're a natural pass rusher. Natural.
Sir. Thank you.
I'm excited. You working out of the combine?
No, sir. Pro day.
All right, pro day. He'll be there. I don't know. These Miami guys, Akheem Mesidor, Hurricane Bane. Damn, you've changed from the old days of the Miami. You guys are smart and put together and all this stuff. But seriously,
Thank
awesome,
you.
right?
I appreciate it.
Amazing.
Thank
It was an awesome year by you guys.
Yo. Thanks for watching, homies. We are now in the NFL season here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, game recaps, film deep dives, and much, much more.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe, rate, review. Peace out. You know where to find us.